What's up guys, it's Abby. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit odd and a little bit spontaneous because I literally hit record to record another video and then glanced at my shelf and saw this stack of old journals and was like, ooh, you know what would be a great video? If I read excerpts from my old journals. The most interesting stuff I found actually is the reason I wanted to make this video is that I found a lot of stuff in these journals that was hinting, very strongly hinting, at my insecurities with alopecia as a little kid. So it's not going to be like what this whole video was about. I might read excerpts from like other aspects of my life, but it was just like a revelation to me that like I obviously knew I was insecure with alopecia as a child, but I didn't realize like just how bad it was. But not only just how bad it was, how normal that seemed to me. Like it seemed like being insecure was like the only life I could lead. Like if I had alopecia, it meant I was gonna be insecure about my hair for the rest of my life, and like there didn't seem to be any alternative. Like it didn't occur to me when I was young that like I could have alopecia and it could just be fine. Like it didn't occur to me to not see it like a detriment to who I was. So yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of try to go through these in order and see like what saucy stuff I can find to share with you guys. This is actually a sketchbook, so this I won't show. Oh my god, I used to draw these like really cheesy anime characters when I was in like middle school that I don't even want to show you guys because they're so embarrassing. Although something else that's very, very interesting from like a psychological perspective is that when I was young, like as young as like 4th grade, if I drew characters, like if I drew female characters, I would always draw them with really, really elaborate hairstyles. So it's not like I was thinking as a child like, oh, I'll draw them with elaborate hair because that's the hair that I want. Like it wasn't like that. It's just like I wonder if that like subliminally I would draw what I wanted even if like I wasn't doing it consciously. Okay, moving on. No sketchbooks this time around. Maybe someday. I opened this journal and the first thing I see from April 2010, I just see boys suck. I literally don't even know like who that was about or what inspired that. Moving on. Here's something alopecia related that's kind of dark. Not like, okay, not super dark, but enough that it like, I know that I was insecure growing up, but I didn't really like remember thinking thoughts like this, but apparently they're in my journal, so I did. Here, maybe I lost my hair for a reason, and that is what I am to discover. Maybe it just shaped my person for the better. I know I would be a different person for sure. I went swimming in the lake earlier without my wig on with Alex. It's a stupidly upsetting thing to think that when everyone stares, it's not because I'm pretty. If anything, they're looking at Alex, my cousin who's gorgeous, but because they're staring at me, my hair. Maybe feeling bad, thinking I have cancer or something, but the last thing on their mind is, what a pretty girl. In reality, I just look ill. I do not take for granted that I am indeed healthy overall, but I just want to be beautiful and not described or noticed for my wigs and hair loss. So I guess one of the things I always feared growing up was that the only thing I could ever be in people's eyes was the girl with alopecia or the girl who wore wigs. And if someone was to describe me to someone else, the way they would describe me would be like, oh, you know Abby, like, you know, that girl, the one with alopecia, the one who wears wigs, oh yeah, that girl. Like that's how I thought people saw me, and only that. And it's funny because I was so afraid of that, and like now it's I kind of am that girl to some people because I make myself so public about it on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram and on my Tumblr that like I almost made myself into that girl, but in a way that I embraced those qualities. Now I don't want to say I'm proud that I have alopecia and wear wigs, it's because it's like it's not something I can control, so it's not something I'm proud of, nor is it something I have to be ashamed of. It's just a trait about me. And like if that's how people choose to describe me, as the girl with wigs or the girl with alopecia, that's fine too, because what's the difference of them calling me that than, let's say I had long blonde hair and they referred to me, oh, the blonde girl. Like, it's just a trait. And it doesn't have to have all these other connotations of like, oh, the bald girl, she's ugly, right? It's just a trait, and it doesn't have to be anything else than that. So then I continued writing. I kind of wrote a little bit about like what I imagined my hair would be. I was saying it would be blonde like my mom's, same texture as hers too. If I had hair, I'd probably keep it short, framing my face, which is funny because, like I always say in my videos, I wore the Cody at the time, which is like a haircut pretty similar to this one actually, just short with like face framing layers. And I always imagined that if I had hair, that's exactly how I would have worn my hair. So I would put clips in it and maybe curl it on occasions. People would look at me and tell me they liked my hair, ask where I would get it done, and I would be able to provide an honest answer. So that's really, really funny that I wrote that, because something I would get a lot growing up when I wore wigs but kept it like a secret is I would get people asking me like, who does your hair, as like a discreet way of trying to see if I would tell them it was a wig, because almost like a way of trying to get me to admit that it was a wig, you know what I mean? Like, instead of asking straight out, is that a wig, they would ask questions like, oh, what shampoo do you use, or who does your hair, to see if I would provide the information myself, like, oh, by the way, this is a wig. So to say in the journal that like someone would ask me where I got my hair done and I would be able to actually say where I got my hair done, as opposed to having to make up an answer and lie in order to defend my secret. Then I wrote, I wouldn't dye it often, but I may dye it purple when I'm 17 or 8 or maybe 18 or so. I don't know why I was like, oh, I'll dye my hair when I'm 17 or 18. Like, that's just such a weird thing. But it's also funny because I said I would dye it purple, and here I am wearing my purple wig by complete coincidence right now. Always been my dream hair, to have purple hair or green. I could go for some green hair. Having hair would make me happier overall and more confident and self-loving. Yeah. So basically, I was obsessed with the idea that having hair would make me pretty and make me confident. Which is such a sad thought, because that means that, on the contrary, if I thought that having hair would make me confident, it also means that I thought that not having hair had to mean that I was insecure and had to mean that I could never be beautiful. So that's just really sad to think that I thought this way in, what was this dated? This entry was dated from just like the summer after my 10th grade year. This is from a couple days later, so this is a different entry, but again, it's talking about my hair. I really want my hair to just grow back in full. Beautiful, golden, blonde, straight hair. I would keep it cut short and wash it with strawberry-scented shampoo and conditioner. What the f***? I wouldn't dye it often. I would curl it sometimes. I would be so carefree. I would be able to run as fast as I wanted without worrying about it falling off, do flips and cartwheels and run and jump around and be mega carefree and go on crazy rides, roller coasters that flip over, the drop ride, super fast rides. That's so sad, because it's like listing things that I like kind of purposely avoided just because I feared that it would cause my wig to fall off. By the way, I think the reason I was writing like this, like speaking as if I had hair, it almost sounds like I'm obsessed with having hair, but I think what I was trying to do is when I was growing up around that age, my mom had this mentality that she would always like share with me of you should speak things into existence, and at the time I was kind of trying that out, like a kind of like mystical thing where like if you say I have hair and talk like you do, that'll help it happen. I guess it's kind of like a law of attraction sort of thing. So I think I was trying that out. It wasn't that I was genuinely like that obsessed with having hair, but I was just trying to like do the whole law of attraction thing and speak as if I had hair and what I would do if I had hair, not like crazily fantasizing about it, because it's not like it was on my mind all the time. And like I said, like I'm just skipping to the parts that are about my hair. So it's not like every single entry is about like, oh my god, I wish I had hair, but like it does appear frequently in a lot of these journals. Oh, that's so funny. And then the next thing I wrote was, this is becoming a major theme of this journal, eh? I used to really want to be Canadian, so I wrote A. But I'm really believing and looking forward to it. My mom has always said that she believed it would happen when I was 16. I believe it, I really do. So I guess at the time I was I 16? I might have been 16 in this journal, so I don't know why. Oh, I guess because I was 16, so I was hoping it would start growing back that year. So yeah, that's another kind of sad thing, is that I would look to the future and think, and really, really bank on someday my hair would grow back, and I would think, someday my hair will grow back, and when it does, that's when I will be happy and confident. And I didn't leave room to be happy and confident then and there without hair. I just always constantly like hoped in the future that someday it would grow back and then I would be confident. And I didn't even consider that like I could be confident and happy and secure with still wearing wigs and still not having my own hair. Oh wow, okay, so this is an entry from way later in that month. It's July 29th of 2011. I wrote, today, just 10 minutes ago, I posted photos of myself on Tumblr without a wig. Today I am deciding and declaring that I am beautiful just the way I am, no matter what. I'm being free, happy, real. It's not big, but it's huge for me, the first step. This is actually really crazy that I wrote about this because I totally remember this. It was on an old Tumblr account. I don't even know if I'd be able to find those pictures anymore. If I can, I'll put them in, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to access it. Over the last couple of years, I've been posting some photos on my Tumblr, and like I slowly got confident enough to start posting them on my Instagram and then even my Facebook, which was a scarier step because I actually knew people on Facebook and Instagram, whereas on my Tumblr, I'm followed by mostly people I don't know in real life, so it seemed a little bit less scary. But this, I think, was the first photo that I posted myself on social media without a wig. So that was like the first time ever, and that's crazy. And I remember at the time, I kept the hair that I had a lot longer than I keep it now. Like now I keep it just like up to here. It's probably like 2 inches long. At the time it was like almost down to my chin. It also kind of looked like a mohawk. And the way I have it styled in the picture, I hope I can find it because I'm like referencing the picture, but the way I had it styled in the picture was like kind of punk rock because I was wearing like black and I don't know, it just looked cool. And then I wrote, maybe someday I'll be so comfortable as to go outside without a wig. Let my defenses and offenses down and screw everyone who thinks differently of me. I am beautiful. God, I'm so corny, but it's still also very touching that like just a couple pages back and like a couple weeks back I was talking about how insecure I was, and then a couple weeks later I totally forgot that this was right around that same time. A couple weeks later I had like a moment of overcoming that feeling of insecurity. And that's the cycle that I've kind of been in ever since. It's kind of like it goes back and forth. It'll be like I'm kind of insecure for a while, and then I have like a moment of overcoming an insecurity enough to post a picture on social media or something, and it just feels so good. And even though it takes so long for me to get to that point, and then sometimes I do revert, every step forward is still a step in the right direction, even if it kind of takes a lot of time in between. Here's a funny part that I read the other day. I wrote, my future will involve these things: modeling, film, writing, possibly acting. I'll achieve these dreams. And that's dated November 15th, 2011. And that's really funny because I just graduated from college with degrees in digital media production, which is film, and creative writing, so writing. I model occasionally, but like I would not call myself a model, but I have modeled now wigs for Adirond's. And then possibly acting. That's the only one of those I didn't accomplish, but that's not really a dream of mine anymore. It would be cool, but it's just cool that I wrote these dreams in this journal so many years ago now. And I actually accomplished most of them, and I didn't, like, that's just cool. So here's my list of New Year's resolutions from 2012. First one was, embrace all my unique qualities and learn to love all of them, especially the things I can't change like my alopecia and wig wearing. Again, came up again in a different journal, totally different date. Alright, that's all I'm gonna share in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you found this interesting. If you want me to record more videos reading excerpts from my journals and stuff, because it's just really interesting as like a psychological experiment, kind of, to see how alopecia affected my confidence and my mindset growing up, and how it evolved over the years. And it's so crazy for me to look at these journals where I'm talking about how insecure I was because of alopecia to see how far I've come, because I knew I was insecure growing up, but sometimes I forget just how bad it was, and that it honestly does kind of make me a little bit emotional, because it makes me really happy that I was able to pull myself out of that. And even though I still do struggle with my confidence with it occasionally, now and again, it will never be as bad as it was. It's hard for me to really like speak to that because it does make me so emotional that it's like, wow, I forgot how far I'd come. And sometimes I look at these gorgeous Instagram girls that I follow who are so confident with their alopecia that they never wear wigs, and they always post pictures of them without a wig, and they just look so gorgeous and so happy, and they pull it off so well. And I kind of discourage myself because I feel like I will never be that confident. But then I have to remind myself how far I've already come, and to see how far I've come is just like a reminder that I'm strong enough to keep pushing and getting more and more confident as long as I continue to challenge myself and not just accept this level of confidence that I've reached, just to keep pushing and getting more and more confident and more happy with who I am, exactly as I am. So that is all. I feel like this video is going to be super long, so if you watched to this point, I appreciate you and thank you for sticking with me. Again, comment below if you want to see more videos like this with my journals. It was, I don't know, it was kind of interesting to do, even though some of it was still too private to actually want to read on here, just because it is my personal journal. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.